guys, so today I'm going to talk to you about coming back from Korea and all the things I experienced, especially with the reverse culture shock that I was not expecting. I honestly thought that was a BS term, but no, it is a real thing. So for those of you who haven't traveled, expect that when you come back home. So yeah, and just like getting back here to the States and that journey, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first off, that flight from Korea to Dallas was my first stop. Yeah, that is a long ass flight. That was 13 and a half hours, and I kid you not, like, it's hard to sit in one place for so long. And luckily I flew Korean Air, which if I was to recommend an airline to do long travels, especially to Korea, do Korean Air, because they are sweet, nice, they speak English, they offer you like really good food. I had a friend who flew using Delta, totally different flight, not as comfortable. I think one thing that you don't really expect that you really take advantage of, especially being here in the States, I can't speak for other countries because I've not been there, but I will say diversity. Like, that was one of the big things when I got to Korea, the lack of diversity. Even I was in Seoul, you know, one of the big cities that many foreigners go to. Obviously it wasn't diverse. Korea is a homogeneous country, so you shouldn't expect a lot of diversity, but I think I've been spoiled to see like so many different kinds of people, and then I wasn't seeing that anymore, so that was something I had to get used to while I was there. Funny thing is, coming back from Korea and landing in Dallas, it was the opposite effect. Like, I was actually intimidated by the diversity of people. It was intimidating because I kept seeing like different kinds of people, different kinds of languages being spoken, and I really honestly, I can't express to you guys how like intimidated it made me feel. Like, I love it, don't get me wrong, I love diversity and whatnot, but when you come from a country where it little to no diversity, and then you get back to like your homeland, for me the States, and you see so many different kinds of people, it kind of catches you off guard. It's like, wow, there are a lot of people. I think it's one of those things, like, you have to put yourself in a situation like that and then experience what I experienced to understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, that was one thing. I was completely taken off guard. Another thing is the food. Okay, so going to Korea, I did not know how to eat with chopsticks. I learned how to eat with chopsticks because I starved. No kidding. Like, a lot of the restaurants I went to, because I was like, you know what, I want to have the real Korean food. I went to traditional restaurants, and needless to say, they did not have forks for me. Believe me, I asked. So I had to learn how to eat with chopsticks because I wanted to eat. Yeah, I learned through hunger. Had to learn to eat with chopsticks, and my stomach was adjusting to the food. Needless to say, I love fast food and bread and butter and sugar. I'm from the South, so I love sweet, buttery, greasy things. I know it's not good for you, but I love it either way. Going to Korea, totally different. A lot of vegetables, a lot of rice, spicy stuff. I'm more sweet than I am spicy, so adjusting to the spiciness, and like me adjusting to that food, and then when I came back to the States, oh my god. For those of you who go to Korea and you stay like an extended period of time like I did, and then you go back home, take it easy with the food. Let your stomach like realize it's not going to be eating the same stuff it had been eating in Korea, and it's got to learn how to deal with this buttery, sugary, awful goodness. I got so excited and I got ahead of myself, and I was like, you know what? I've not had Chick-fil-A or Zaxby's or any of that stuff in forever, so I'm going to, yeah, have it all at once. I get PTSD just thinking about that. Don't do that to yourself. Your body is not ready. Speaking of which, your body, jet lag. I didn't understand what jet lag was. Again, the longest flight I had ever been on was probably 4 hours before doing the whole Korea thing. So being in a plane for 18 hours, because after I landed in Houston, I had to fly 2-3 hours to Nashville after I got a delayed flight. So yeah, again, like I said in my other flying to Korea video, don't do American Airlines. Just don't, because they delayed me 3 hours and then change gates like 4 or 5 times. So yeah, don't do American Airlines. Jet lag. no joke. Be prepared to deal with like not being able to sleep and just like not feeling well. It took me a good about a week and a half after coming back from Korea to feel like I could do anything, that I could stay up past 8 o'clock. Because me, I am a night owl. I will stay up till 1 a.m. just doing nothing. And no, when I came back for that week and a half, I was going to bed at 8 and waking up at 5 in the morning. That is awful. That is an awful schedule. I am not an infant. I shouldn't be sleeping like that. But yeah, that's how it was when I got back, because my mind was trying to adjust to time zone difference, because where I was from, Korea was 15 hours ahead. So I went back a day. The funny thing is, I flew out on a Saturday at 12 in the afternoon and landed on a Saturday at 12 in the afternoon back in the States. You want to talk about having your mind just like all over the place? That will do it to you. Going back in time, or like not even moving really. The funny thing is, I didn't really experience that too bad going to Korea. It was my first time having jet lag, and I think having a friend with me, because I had Shelby with me and we were in a host house, and just being in like a comfort zone. Because when I landed in the States, I went on a family vacation right away. No joke. Got off the plane, got in the car, and went on my family vacation. So again, I was not prepared for all of that. I should have paced myself. But when I was in Korea, I don't think the jet lag was that bad. If anything, it was like it lasted 3 days, and me and my friend would go to sleep at like 4 in the afternoon and then wake up really, really early in the morning. So that was something we had to get used to, along with like the food and dealing with spiciness and the heat. Jesus, oh my gosh. Korea goes 0 from 100 real quick, because in August when we landed, it was hot as hell. And the humidity. I have not dealt with so much humidity. Like, I think Kentucky has humidity. Korea has humidity. It's like a different kind of humidity. It attacks every bone in your body. Like, my hair, like I flat iron this daily, and I flat iron this daily to keep it straight, but my hair is naturally curly, like ringlets, like curly. And so when I got to Korea, I could not keep my hair flat iron to save its life. As soon as that flat iron touched my hair, it just went back up in a curl. So yeah, the humidity is no joke. The winters, I finally got to experience a little bit of the winter, because I left mid-December, heading towards the end of December. And yeah, it gets piss cold outside. Like, when I left Korea, it was in Fahrenheit like 13. Yeah, it was about 13 degrees Fahrenheit. I have no clue what that is in Celsius, but it's cold. I went from 13 degrees, and then when I landed in Nashville, that was 60 something. And I was carrying around these 2 winter jackets, and I was burning up. So that's another thing, like the weather. And I got sick again. I know when I think it was a few weeks into Korea, because I also made a video around that time too, when I got sick. And it's just your body like adjusting, and I'm sure that has something to do with jet lag and like your immune system and not being able to like changing different climates. And so my body had been through it. It had been stuck in an airplane. I know that I said in my sick video how I was missing my parents and my sisters. Well, that ship has sailed. I no longer miss them. And that's something else. Like, I was in Korea living independently because I didn't really have family. I didn't really have any friends other than the ones that I had made on campus. So I was doing me. Like, I was myself. I didn't have any other responsibilities than to take care of myself. So I think that's something else, especially if you are still a student and you still rely on your parents for certain stuff, or you're constantly around them like I am. That's another flip in the mind of like, it's not just me anymore. Because when I came back home, I was the daughter, I was the sister, I wasn't just Kalyn. I wasn't independently me with my own persona and like doing my own thing and being able to go out every weekend and say this or that. No, I had to filter a lot of stuff, obviously, because I was around my parents. But I think being in that mindset of, I don't think most people really expect to feel this way or like anticipate this part, but the whole going from being a soul person to being that family person again. Like dealing with my parents, dealing with my sisters. It was a totally different flip in the mind of who I was. And I hope I am explaining this right. Honestly, guys, I don't write out a script of what to tell you all. I try to speak from the heart and be completely 100% true and honest to you all. So I hope that I'm making sense. Again, a lot of the things that I say, I feel like it's one of those, it's kind of like you have to experience it to fully grasp what I'm saying. Expect to feel that, to be like, you know, I'm doing my own stuff in Korea, I'm partying, I'm doing this and that, I can go wherever I want, spend this money, that money, and you come home and you're like, I gotta clean my room, I gotta stop cussing in front of my sisters. That's less of like going to Korea, more of like if you go anywhere independently, you have to probably consider that that's going to happen. When I was in Korea, I was learning how to read Korean. Coming back to the States, I don't see any Korean. By the luck of the Irish, I found a Korean supermarket and I was able to read stuff and practice. That is something that I urge you guys, when you go to a different country and you start learning about the country, the language, and reading it, especially for me when I'm thinking about myself and like reading Korean, still practice when you get here, because I think you'll be in shock. I was used to hearing Korean on a regular basis, seeing Korean written everywhere. If I wanted to go somewhere, it would be written in Korean first and then English right under it in really tiny letters. So yeah, I was really used to seeing that, and then coming back to the States and everything's in English. You don't see Korean unless you are purposely looking for it. And so as advice that I give you guys is that if you go to Korea, Spain, anywhere, and start learning the language and reading the language, when you come back to your home, please try to keep up with that, because I'm forcing myself to continue reading Korean, trying to find reasons to speak Korean. There are very few reasons, obviously. So yeah, continue practicing your language, because Korean is a very beautiful language. There was a reason, other than me loving K-pop and doing Taekwondo, that I wanted to go to Korea, because when I was listening to K-pop and I was able to tell the difference between, you know, how Korean sounds, how Chinese sounds, how Japanese sounds, I realized that I really like how Korean sounds. And I think it is a beautiful language to be able to look at some symbols on the wall and be able to say, oh, that says cheese, or that says ice cream. Like, I think that's pretty cool, because most people are like, oh, that looks like a kid's drawing. You're like, no, that's a language. The culture that you learn overseas, don't just let it stay over there and be like, well, that was nice and I have some pictures to show you, da da da. No, sit with your family, sit with your siblings, especially if you have younger siblings, because they would truly appreciate your experience, because they lived through you a lot of the times. And just tell them about the culture, tell them about what you learned about Korea, because I think you would be surprised how ignorant some people are about other parts of the country. We have these assumptions about, you know, Koreans, about Europeans, about all these other groups of people, and you know, vice versa with them towards us, that I feel like it's really, when you go overseas, don't just use it to like party it up, though, you know, do it, because why not? It's fun. But really taking the culture and the language, but your understanding of who they are, and the language, especially the language and the culture and their appreciation for certain things, especially in Korea, where they appreciate the group, they appreciate family, the art of eating, like if you sit at a Korean restaurant with a Korean family, like there is an art to how everything is, and like how you pour stuff, how you drink your alcohol in front of people. Like, we don't have that in the States, and to be able to share that with your family and share your experiences and your knowledge, I feel like they will truly appreciate that. And it will also help you to recap on your experiences and to sit back and be like, wow, I really learned a lot. I really took in the culture. Maybe there's some things you wish you had done more, but that is, I feel like that's probably the most important thing that you should take away from this video, is that wherever you go, Korea, Japan, Madagascar, I don't know, wherever you go, I feel like you should definitely come back and tell people about what you saw, what you experienced. Because honestly, like I said, you will be surprised at the lack of knowledge that people have about other countries. And I'm speaking for myself too. There are other countries I know completely nothing about. And I would love to learn more about them. I'm sure there's more that I could tell you about, but I can always make another video. That's why I have a YouTube channel, so I can make videos and talk to you guys about it. That is all that I have to say for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you are prepared now to go to Korea, Madagascar, Narnia. You're prepared to go there. So yeah, I will get off my high horse. I don't think I was really on a high horse. I think I was pretty much saying what other people who have traveled abroad will probably tell you as well or advise you as well. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on my Instagram and my Snapchat, and I will see you all next time. Bye.